No Triple Crown hopes this year after the owner of Derby winner Rich Strike says the colt will not race in the Preakness. WDRB's Eric Crawford joins me now. And Eric, I know you've been texting with the owner today. Why not run in the second leg of the Triple Crown?
Well, there's a lot of reasons not to run, and some very good ones, really. Number one, it's a shorter race on a different racetrack with tighter turns that usually favors speed. For a closer, you figure if the Derby had been a mile and 3/16, Rich Strike probably wouldn't have won the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
Number two, they never expected to be running like this. They didn't really expect to be running in the Derby. This horse has never run back in 2 weeks. They're a little uncomfortable with that. And I think they feel like the Belmont suits them better. It's a longer race, and that's what they're going to do, yeah.
We've heard it for the last number of years, that 3 races in 5 weeks, and there's a lot of stud fees for these super stallions out there, and they don't want to risk it. And so it kind of does make sense. But without that Triple Crown possibility, what does it mean for horse racing in leg number 2?
Well, it's never good because it immediately reduces interest in the Preakness, which gets a little bit of a bump because the Kentucky Oaks winner is going to run in the Preakness. Wayne Lucas is taking secret oath to the Preakness and feels like she's got a good chance to win. The favorite will probably be Epicenter that ran in the Derby. It's going to be a good horse race, but the interest immediately decreases. It's a tough blow for the sport overall, and honestly, if the sport wants to keep this from happening, it's going to have to space these races out at some point.
When we look at Rich Strike, too, coming off now 5 weeks rest, going into an even a little longer race at the Belmont, might set up nicely for that horse. Boy, if he could even get on the board there, it would prove that he was worthy.
And he's a closer, and he's bred for the distance, and they like the idea of going a mile and a half, where a mile and 3/16 obviously might catch up and get him. So they feel like that's the move. I hope he does go in the Belmont. There's some chance that he might not if something happens on down the road, but I think we'll see him in the Belmont. He did run that was a legitimate speed figure. He put up a big number in the Kentucky Derby. He won it legitimately. I hope we get to see him again against top level horses.
D. Wayne Lucas, with secret oath, ran him in the Arkansas Derby, ran her, got third, which a lot of people said, wow, that set her up definitely to win the Lilies for the fillies there at the Oaks, and then indeed that panned out. What kind of shot against Epicenter, though, because it was beaten in the Arkansas Derby by some lesser horses.
Well, and Lucas's feeling is his horse filly didn't really struggle to win the Oaks. She cruised while Epicenter put in pretty good work. Was in a stretch duel with Zandon coming down the stretch of the Derby. Has run a mile and a quarter. His filly ran a shorter distance, so he's going to bring her back and see how it goes. And he feels like he should have won the Arkansas Derby, got a trip he didn't like from the jockey, and switched jockey, went to Luis Saez, who's going to be on it for the Preakness. So that should be an interesting matchup. But there's some new horses coming in, and a horse that ran on the undercard Derby day that put up the biggest speed figure of the day, 108. That's going to try the Preakness, so that'll be interesting. All
right, we'll see who has the fresh legs for leg 2 of the Triple Crown. And Eric's got a great story up on our website, WDRB.com, as well, about Rich Strike and horse racing this year, which is really bouncing back.